All right, folks, listen. This is a live stream, and if you're new to the channel, go to the live section of this channel, not the video section, because those videos are all old. Go to the live section of this channel and watch the last 10 to 11 months of my live streams and get caught up with my two predictions that have to do with Elvis and Trump, because Elvis is the real devil and Trump is his image in the flesh. They're copying God because when Jesus, who is God in the flesh, when he was here walking the earth, God was still in heaven. Okay, so you have God in the flesh and God in heaven, and that's what's going to happen here. Elvis is playing God in heaven, and Trump is playing his image, who is going to get a head wound, crucified, and then rise from the dead. Okay, he's going to open his eyes 4 days later, and I told you, uh, uh, Trump gets his head wound on August 4th and opens his eyes on August 8th. Okay, but the Elvis event is June 11th. Elvis is the beast out of the sea. Okay, he is the phoenix rising. He is the kraken. He is the sea goat. He is the camel that shoots through the eye of the Space Needle in Seattle. So the point is that that's what they're doing. That's why Elvis needed Trump to fulfill this monster charade, and that's why Elvis's twin was sacrificed at birth, and that's why the Twin Towers fell, and all the everything you've been watching on my videos. You got to watch it. I can't explain it all here. All right, my two predictions are June 11th, Washington State gets struck. Get out of Washington State before June 11th. This is going to change the world, this event on June 11th. Okay, and then August 4th, Trump gets his head wound in Ohio. Now, yesterday, Trump went to Graceland, which is Elvis's home. This is where Elvis lived and died. Okay, now, why was this important, what he did? Because the only other sitting president to go to Graceland was George Bush Jr. Okay, George Bush Jr., the 9/11 president, was the only other president to go to Graceland while he's in office. And that's why Trump is in office. He's the second one to do this. And George Bush being the 9/11 president, and now Trump being the 6/11 president. Do you understand? Okay? And because that's the next 9/11 is going to be on 6/11 in Washington State. And Trump was, he was in New York. He was there watching it. Forget about Bush. He was just the president. Trump was literally there watching it. And he was 55 years old, just like Bush and Clinton. They were all born in the same year. But Trump was the main guy. He's sitting there watching it, okay? And Satan equals 55. And, Trump was 55. And Elvis was 66. Why is that important? Because the word twin equals 66. And the Twin Towers fell 66 years, 8 months, 4 days after Elvis's birth. Because Elvis had his identical twin sacrificed at birth, okay? And because there can only be one, you understand? That's why they had to get rid of they had to sacrifice, a death had to happen for Elvis. And now Trump is here to fulfill this monster charade, which I explained already. Now, and I told you Elvis had an identical twin, and the Twin Towers fell 66 years, 8 months, 4 days after Elvis and his twin were born. All right, he's the most famous twin in the world ever. Okay, and the Twin Towers falling for him. Okay, and the word twin equals 66, and it fell 66 years later. Okay, the towers. Now, so Bush took, when he went to Graceland while he was in office, he took the Japanese prime minister. And why is that important? Because Trump just got visited. Look at this. Here we go again. People walking by my window making all kinds of noise. Anyway, so the Japanese prime minister came to visit Trump. That's the last person that visited with Trump right before he went to Graceland. Do you understand the connection? Another Japanese prime minister. And we're talking about Pearl Harbor. The Pearl Harbor is Japan, you know what I mean? Supposedly did it. And why is this important? Because I told you Trump's going to get his head won on 8/4, and Pearl Harbor just turned 84. It's 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Do you understand? Okay, now, so let me show you the connections. Oh, but before I do that, let me show you the George Bush connection. Hold on. What is this? So here is the Japanese president that he took. You see this dude? Let me see if I can focus it here. This is the guy. He took a guy, George Bush Jr., took June Achero. You see that? His name is June. I told you June 11th is when Washington State gets struck. And it's all for Elvis. And same thing, even the August 4th event is for Elvis too. But look, June. And look, you have the K. K is the 11th letter. Get it? June 11. But look, you have the chair. Because Seattle is the seat of King County. Because Seattle's in King County. Elvis was known as the king. You know what I mean? Anyway, so he's born on January 8th, 1942. The guy that went with George Bush. January 8th. Look at this. When was Elvis born?
Elvis Presley was born on January 8th, 1935.
So this guy was born on Elvis's birthday 7 years later. And Elvis died at the age of 42. Washington's the 42nd state. He's born on Elvis's birthday, the guy who went to Graceland with Bush. Okay? And by the way, the word Bush equals exactly the word June in gematria. Exact same numbers. Every number is the same. Now, let's look at... let me show you this. That way you guys can know that nothing is a coincidence, all right? So this was Trump.
This time it is 6:11, 12 weeks to the minute that this time it is 6:11, 12 weeks to the minute that this time.
Do you know why Trump is saying this? He is at Butler, Pennsylvania, where he got his ear clipped. And he went back to Butler, Pennsylvania. This was the first time coming back to the place where he got his ear supposedly shot. Okay? And why is he saying this?
This time it is 6:11, 12 weeks to the minute.
12 weeks is 84 days. So he just said...
This time it is 6:11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence.
So he does a moment of silence where you hear bells going off. So there's going to be 4 bells. Okay? And it's, like hell's bells and like a warning. He's telling people this is it. Okay? It was 4 times it rang.
It is 6:11.
And so he says 6:11, then he says 12 weeks. 12 weeks is 84 days. And how many weeks? How many days in a week? 7. So 12 times 7 is 84. And when did Pearl Harbor happen? On 12/7. And how old is Pearl Harbor now? 84 years. Do you understand? So he said 6:11. He says 12 weeks, which is 12 times 7 is 84, 7 days in a week. And he went there 84 days later. That's why he's saying that.
This time it is 6:11, 12 weeks to the minute.
Okay.
That the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence.
Give me a second to stop this. Okay, now let's get into the numbers. I just want to show you that they already have explained, they're already, warning us that it's coming, okay? I'm not really looking at the chat, folks, so, right now I'm going to get into the connections, why it was important that he went there yesterday and how it connects to the Japanese thing, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, George Bush took the Japanese prime minister to Graceland. He was the only sitting president to ever go to Graceland until Trump did yesterday, okay? And and Trump. Hold on, let me see. Anyway, so like I said, it's all about this Japanese and this Pearl Harbor stuff, right? Because the next Pearl Harbor is coming, the second Pearl Harbor, and the second 9/11, which is 6/11 in Washington State. So look at this. From Elvis's birthday, and remember that Japanese prime minister that went to Graceland with George Bush was born on Elvis's birthday. From Elvis's birth, January 8th, 1935, to the day Pearl Harbor happened, it was 6 years and 11 months exactly when you add the day. From Elvis's birth to Pearl Harbor, 6 years, 11 months exactly. From that date, Pearl Harbor, to the next 9/11, which is going to be on 6/11, is 84 years. So now it finally becomes 84 years. Okay? And it's 84 years, 6 months, and 5 days if you add the day. If you don't add days, 6 months, 4 days. All right? If you watch my videos, you'll understand why that's important. It being 4, 6, 5. But anyway, so it's 84 years, 7 and 4 mission, okay? They both have to connect. That's what they were waiting for. Now, so like I said, is 84 years, 6 months, and 5 days to 6/11 this year. Important because that guy who went to Graceland, the Japanese prime minister who went to Graceland, he's 84 years old now. Okay? And guess when the new prime minister, who Trump just, the last person Trump visited that went to the White House, and then Trump went to Graceland after that. How old this person is? It's 65 years old. Do you understand? 84 and 65. Did you get that? 84 years, 6 months, 5 days. Look at that. From Pearl Harbor to the next 9/11 and the next Pearl Harbor. You understand? 84 years, 6 months, 5 days. And the two people that went to Graceland, I mean, they didn't go to Graceland, but connect to this puzzle was the Japanese prime ministers. And 84 years old and 65. Okay? Are you getting it? Is anyone not getting it? Is anyone not getting this? This way I can move on. Does anyone understand what I'm saying? Hold on one second. I just got to get rid of somebody. Here. So is anyone understanding? Can I move on? How bad is the buffering right now? How bad is the buffering? Can I still keep going? Should I keep going or should I start the video over again? Okay, it's fine now. Okay. Anyway, so now look at this. You remember I told you that it's 84 years from Pearl Harbor to 6/11 this year. If you don't add the day, it's 84 years, 6 months, 4 days, or 6 months, 5 days. Look at this. How old exactly was that Junichiro dude when he went to Graceland with George Bush? He was 64 years, 5 months, and 22 or 23 days if you add the day, which adds up to 45. Look, 22 and 23 is 45. Look, 64 years and 5 months. Look at that. It's got the 645 connection. What's the chance of him being 64? You know what I mean? And now he's 84 years old, that guy. Do you get what I'm saying? See, right here. That's his birthday. He's 84 years old now. That Junichiro dude. You see what I'm saying? And it's 6 months, 4 days, or 6 months, 5 days. Look, 64 years, 5 months, how old he was when he went to Graceland with Bush. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Okay, now, Trump's birthday is 6/14, right? 6 times 14 equals 84. That's when Trump gets his head wound on 8/4 in Ohio. Trump's birthday is 6/14. 6 times 14 is 84. If you went from yesterday's date to June 14th, Trump's birthday, it's 84 days. You see that? And I told you, Trump wakes up on 8/8. Interesting that he turns 80. You see? But it's 8/4. It's 84 days. You see? And the Elvis was born 7 years before the prime minister, right? Because the prime minister was born on his birthday, the one that went to Graceland with Bush. And look at that. 7 years is exactly 84 months. So you have another 8/4 connection. How old is Junichero right now? He's 84 years old, man. Look how old he was yesterday exactly. 84 years, 2 months, 16 days exactly, if you add the day to yesterday's date when he went to Graceland, Trump. So think about what I'm about to show you here, because he's 84 years old. Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4, and 8/4, the date is the 216th day of the year. Did you see that? And he was 84 years, 2 months, 16 days on that date. And you know that 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216, right? 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. And Elvis Aaron Presley, his full name, equals 216, okay? Now, I hope you guys understood that. I mean, you understand how incredible that is? The connection, because the last person that Trump visited with was the Japanese prime minister. Give me a second here. And you know that one of the first things that happened when Trump went into Graceland, they were talking about Trump getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I mean, Trump giving out the Presidential Medal of Freedom to Elvis, which I've shown over the years, and you know that on that day that Trump gave Elvis the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Look at this. From the day Trump became president, from the day Trump became the 45th president to the day that he gave Elvis the Presidential Medal of Freedom was 666 days exactly. Can you imagine? He gave it, and look at the dates. 162-216 with a crown or a portal. You see that? 162-216. You see what I mean? But anyway, 666. Because 162nd day of the year is June 11th, 216th day is August 4th. But anyway, the point is it was 666 days. And on this date, when he became president, he was exactly 70 years old, 7 months, 7 days when he became president. Okay? And then from that day that he became president, I told you to the day he gave Elvis the Presidential Medal of Freedom was 666 days. And then from that day to the day he went to Graceland was 2,684 or 85 days. So you have 26, 84, or 85, because I told you Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4 in the year 26. You see what I mean? Okay. Now, I don't really need to show anymore. That's it, basically. I mean, I could show you a few more connections here. that are pretty good, but yeah, I'm not going to waste my time with it. I think I want to keep it as, you know, not so convoluted. I think this was easily understandable. And listen, to all the 88 people in the chat, can you go and thumb up the video right now and come back? All right, I'll wait for you. Go and thumb up the video. All right, do it now. All right, stop being lukewarm and lazy and unappreciative. Do it now. All right, and then I'll answer. Anybody have any questions? Let me answer it. All right. Let me just look before I end this video. I'll stay on another 10 minutes here. Thumb up the video, people. Don't make me yell at you. Seriously. Go and thumb up the video. Yeah, I think. Yeah, listen, I don't know how bad the video is, but I'll look at it once it to see how bad the glitching was. If it's so bad that it's not watchable, you know. But anyway, anybody have any questions? Did anyone not get what I showed? That's all I want to know. Did anyone not get it? Was there anything in this video that was not that wasn't fluid? You know, was it fluid, the information? That's what counts. You know. That's all I need to know. Was it fluid, the info, or not? I told you the people. I told you I have the worst viewers. Look, I told people to thumb it up. Only 6-7 people thumbed it up. You see that? You see? You see? I told you that I have the worst viewer on YouTube. Seriously, there's nothing worse than you people. And if you're new to the channel, get used to what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. You'll understand that I have the worst viewers on YouTube. And I know the reason why is because most of the people who watch my videos are other truthers who who are jealous of my channel. Anyway, of my predictions and what I've discovered. But anyway, um, so that's why you don't see them commenting. You know, you have 98 people in the chat and only like 6 people commenting. You know. All right, folks. I see nobody has any questions, so let me just end it here. All right. Anyway, I'm going to leave it short. I'll come back on and we can talk for an hour or half an hour, whatever. So I'll be back. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to leave it up, okay? End of video.